Legend has it that it was Pir Sadruddin who gave the Khojas their name and a path called Satpant, an admixture of Hindu and Muslim mystical concepts. It was not until the early 19th century that the identity further crystallized into Khoja Ismaili, Khoja Sunni, and Khoja Ithna-Asheri. An insight into two cases in courts of British India demonstrate how these identities evolved from a caste identity to a faith identity, when two British judges gave exactly opposite judgments in just 24 years. The first case, in 1842, revolved around inheritance. Haji Mir Ali was a Khoja merchant whose wealth was estimated to be 300,000 rupees. Upon his death, surviving him were his wife Sonbai and two daughters from a previous marriage who also claimed their share of inheritance. The conundrum for the British judge Erskine Perry was, are Khojas Hindu or Muslim? The implication was clear. If a daughter is considered to be Hindu, then she will not inherit from her father, and if she was a Muslim, she was entitled to her father's inheritance. The judge ruled that based on Khoja custom, any share of their father's property at his death meant that Hindu, not Muslim, laws of inheritance applied. Hence the daughters could not inherit. Then, just after 24 years, in 1866, in the celebrated case known as the Aga Khan case, there was dispute about the assets of the Jamaat. The plaintiffs were wealthy Khojas who had donated large sums to the Jamaat. They argued that the Jamaat Khana property belonged to the Jamaat, while the lawyer representing the Aga Khan argued that the property belonged to the Aga Khan. The court held that the Aga Khan was the authoritative head of the community and entitled to the property. In his famous judgment, he said, "It is a sect of people whose ancestors were Hindu in origin, which has converted to and has throughout abided in the faith of the Shia Imami Ismailis, which has always been and still is bound by ties of spiritual allegiance to the heritage Imams of the Ismailis." This verdict was the exact opposite to that of Erskine Perry. This about-turn helps us visualize the shifting sands of British justice during the British Raj, which continue to impact the subcontinent till today. What is more important is that a British judge who had no knowledge of the ancient Satpanthi beliefs of the Khojas, nor awareness of the cultural nuances of a community tied through centuries of kinship, ignorantly sealed the fate of the Khoja community, narrowing the syncretic Satpanthi tradition to that of the Ismaili path. Indeed, a close scrutiny of the evidence presented in the 1866 case helps us reframe the popular narrative by modern academics that the transition from Satpanthi tradition was to the Ismaili path and subsequently branching to Sunni and Ithna-Asheri. This is not the case. Rather, this evolution was not linear, but a simultaneous fragmentation into three groups: Ismaili, Ithna-Asheri, and Sunni. All happened during the era of the British Raj, and that is how the Khoja Shia Ithna-Asheri identity came to be.